That movie is a shit show. What you think you see, what you think you hear, that's what it's about. It's all theater of the mind. No, it's garbage. It's garbage. Mood and atmosphere. Now that I really like. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see.
Let's try this again, shall we? Yes. What's going on, everybody? My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. It is now 10:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Tuesday, July the 19th, 2022, and the Halloween Ends trailer has dropped early. Early again for the same reasons again. Because it leaked. We'll talk about that as well. The trailer is out. The teaser trailer is out. What did you think of it? Get the discussion going in the chat room. Comment in the comment section below after the stream is done. I don't think you can do it while we're live. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts, and we're gonna walk through the trailer together. Of course, I'm gonna have the trailer on mute because I don't want Universal dinging me for copyright. Hopefully they will be okay with me just walking through it and talking over it, but I'm not going to have any volume. I hope you are all doing well. It is, it's 10:38 p.m. Eastern time here. I don't know what it's like for you. Of course, if you're on the West Coast, then it's only after 7:30. If you are over in Europe, in the UK, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. But nonetheless, I wanted to jump on and give my first impression thoughts. I like to capitalize on these things. It also helps that I'm up and I'm home. I mean, that kind of helps too, right? So crazy, right? This thing was supposed to drop tomorrow. That was the day that it was going to be released. But just like last year, it dropped early. Although this time, we're getting better. It was less than 24 hours, whereas last year it was a whole week. It was a whole 7 days before. And I, as soon as I saw the snippets had been released, I reached out to one of my contacts, and we both were in agreement that this is likely going to be. If it had just been the first, or the 5 or 6 seconds that was sort of circulating early on, I could have seen Universal maybe waiting, but then the whole thing got released. And it's like, no, they have to get ahead of it. And my contact said it will be released tonight. It is unlikely that that they would let this thing, that they would let the overnight go. They wouldn't want to do that. They would want to get ahead of this. And of course they did. And it's unfortunate because, these things can, it doesn't have to be this way. Now, studios will, it depends on the movie. It can depend on the film. Halloween might be highly anticipated for us, okay? But generally speaking, it's not a highly anticipated movie, all right? We think it's our world, right? But really the Halloween bubble is very small. And maybe Universal reserves this for their larger properties, I don't know. But you can encrypt trailers with a code, with a key. And you can set a date and a time for that trailer to be accessible. And why it wasn't set for tomorrow, I don't know, because it was supposed to be playing in front of Nope. Well, Nope doesn't release till Thursday, so there's no reason why anybody has to have that trailer before. You can give it to them tomorrow or allow them to access it through the special key. But again, Universal might be like, it's Halloween. You know what I mean? To us, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But in the big picture, but because this happened last year, you would have thought that they would get behind that. They can do that. They can set a time and a date, and that's it. You don't have access until that date and time. Why they didn't do it now, I don't know. But nonetheless, here we are, and the trailer has been released again early. So what did I think of it? Let me first start by saying that I really liked it. I did. I thought this was a very good teaser trailer. I was worried that it was going to be just the CinemaCon trailer, and it appears that it is a little bit, but it's more than that. I mean, clearly we know that the fight at the end of the trailer, the kitchen scene, we know that that was in the CinemaCon trailer because it was in the transcript. But it seems to me that since then they've spruced it up a little bit, right? They've kind of added some things and changed some things around and, you know, given us more without giving us a whole lot. And as you can see, as I've said many times on this channel, that, you know, 1 minute and 16 seconds is not a lot, but it's a lot. You can show a lot in 1 minute and 16 seconds, or you can, depending on how you cut it, you can make it feel like you've hardly seen anything at all. I mean, if you were to actually watch this trailer and count how many different clips there are, you'd be surprised. Although you're only seeing like, you know, 0.5 seconds of it, right? You know, you get a sense, you get an essence. And I really appreciate this. It doesn't surprise me. This has been a very tight-lipped ship from the very beginning. So it doesn't surprise me that, you know, that this kind of thing is that they are still playing their cards close to the vest. I like that. I appreciate that. Because I figure that if you've gotten this far, why would you steer away now? That just doesn't make any sense, right? Why would you steer away? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm happy to see this. The first thing that I noticed that I appreciate is, and again, it's difficult because we haven't seen the movie, and a trailer's design, the purpose of a trailer is to get you excited, right? Is to tell a little mini story in all of 1 minute or 30 seconds or 2.5 minutes, however long it is. And I thought they've done a good job. I think it's well put together. I do like I like the look. I like the look and the feel. That's one of the first things that I will probably always notice when it comes to a Halloween movie, because it's so important. It's part of the DNA. When you are making movies connected to that first movie from 1978, it is part of the DNA. You know, the look, the feel, how you craft your shots, how you craft your lighting, the mood, the atmosphere. That's very important. You know, it's not the only thing that matters, right? And when I talk about blue lighting, I don't mean basting your, scene in just this, arbitrarily, blue light, all that kind of stuff, or just this arbitrary blue light. That's not what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about utilizing more of the daylight balanced as opposed to tungsten balanced light to give more of that cool autumn vibe. That's really what I'm talking about. And of course, way back in the day, they would use a lot of blue gels and things like that. Moonlight really isn't blue. It's more of a pale sort of whitish, bluish kind of thing. It's not as blue as you might think. But anyway, so that's one of the first things that I noticed. I appreciated that. I like how it opened and how we have sort of this POV shot, and we're walking up to this house, and we open the door and all that kind of stuff. I like that. I think that was nice, very nuanced, very subtle, right? We're allowing this, of course it gets crazy, all these shots, but I like that we open with a little bit of, just kind of taking our time, there's a little bit of a breathing room, as I like to say, and it's a little ominous. And it's like, who is this? Is this Michael? Well, we can hear the breathing, but as we know, you see, you have to understand with trailers, things can be, sometimes trailers will be cut to deliberately misdirect you because they don't want you to be aware of a spoiler or a story beat or note. And sometimes they will misdirect you just because it works cinematically. It just works better for the trailer. So, example, the POV, right? At the very beginning of the trailer, we're, approaching this house and you hear, right? Well, taking that at face value, we could be led to believe, oh, this is clearly communicating that we are looking through the eyes of Michael Myers. This is Michael Myers because we hear his breathing, right? And most of the time when it's a POV shot, it's Michael Myers. Well, not necessarily. That could just be a stylistic choice for the trailer, right? Because it's very cinematic and it works well, right? So keep those things in mind too. Sometimes, trailer houses will play around with certain things, right? Just because it works for the trailer. But when you go watch the movie, you're like, oh, that actually wasn't Michael. It was Hawkins, and he had his gun pointed, and he was, do you know what I mean? It could be, but it's that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff. But I like it. I liked how it opened. And the lighting, I really appreciated. Again, it's got that, it's just, it feels more reminiscent of the lighting in Halloween Kills as opposed to Halloween 18. So I appreciated that look. Let's jump over to the other screen and let's walk through this together. Now, again, I'm going to have the trailer on mute because I don't want to get dinged, and hopefully Universal will not ding me, but we'll watch it. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. My apologies. I don't know why it did that again. I have no idea why it did that again. My apologies. Hey, when you're jumping on live, sometimes this is what happens. Sometimes this is what happens. All right, let's try it again. Here we go. I'll put a pinned post in the comments section to let people know about this and not to worry, because, sometimes you can get worried and sometimes it happens. You should be able to hear me now, right? Okay, perfect. All right, so as I was saying before, can you imagine if I was just fucking with you guys? Can you imagine? I'm like, nah, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see you guys go crazy in the chat room. Okay, so basically what I was saying is I like the look of this. Okay, I appreciate the look of this because, again, it's got... Halloween 18 has more of that tungsten, balanced sort of warmish vibe to when you watch the nighttime scenes. The street lights look like they have, white lights in them, and they're casting sort of a white light onto the road, and everything is more sort of, it's got more of a cooler vibe to it. I'm not going to say cold. I don't look at this image and go, oh, it's autumn. Oh. No, not necessarily, but I believe it. I can buy it. It's Halloween. Sure. You put a bunch of trick-or-treaters, Halloween decorations, and people in costume. I buy it. Looks good. I like it. Yep, I like it. So I'm digging it. And again, my apologies for the, what was it, like a minute, 90 seconds or whatever, where you couldn't hear me. Again, I'll make a pin post for people who are watching after the fact. So I dig that. And then, of course, we go to this shot here. This shot reminds me very much of Halloween 4. And it could be because it is a Victorian style kind of home. It looks like we could be looking at the Carruthers house, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing because, again, stylistically, in terms of the look, even though it wasn't shot anamorphic, in terms of the lighting, I think Halloween 4 did a pretty good job in 1988 on trying to replicate that autumn cool sort of vibe in Salt Lake City, Utah, and create sort of, Haddonfield, right? So as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, I got total Halloween 4 vibes. You know what I mean? Which is, again, not necessarily a bad thing. It's familiar, and it's kind of cool. So this, of course, is we're moving down. We're obviously on a Panaglide or a Steadicam or even a Ronin or something. It's a POV. We hear Michael's breathing. I like the way it looks. I like how, the light is casting onto here, things like that. I like that we can see, the light is sort of falling onto the, excuse me, the side of the door here, and we can see, a bit of the shadows and things like that. If I back it up, actually, let me just back it up. Let me go back here. This kind of shit is what I'm talking about. I like this kind of stuff here. You know what I mean? How the light is sort of falling onto, and we can see sort of the shadows of the branches or the foliage and things like that. I really like this. I really like this. This is, dare I say, even fantastic. I really like this a lot. This speaks to me more as a Halloween purist, as somebody who is very picky, as you guys know. I really do appreciate this, the look of this, right? And that's just the way that the lighting is crafted and how they crafted the light to fall onto the house here. It's creepy. It's eerie. I appreciate it. I hope the shot is actually in the movie and it's not just for the trailer. Anyway, we're moving up. We're moving up. I don't know whose house this is. Lori is in the house. I don't think it's, well, it could be her house. I don't know. And of course we cut in, we're coming up the stairs. It's got sort of, because of the pillars, although, hang on a sec here. I don't think it is. I just think it looks similar to the Myers house, because the Myers house had these types of round circular kind of stubs on the banister. But I think the banister railings here were different. But you could, you could kind of go, oh, it's the Myers house. I don't think it's the Myers house. It kind of has that similar vibe to it, but it's not. It's not, right? And again, and I can say that, I know what you might be thinking. Well, Dave, we just saw the POV walk into the house. Clearly, it's not the Myers house. But again, how trailers are cut though, right? You may watch the movie and go, oh shit, that POV, this actually isn't that how, sometimes they can cut trailers that way to make you kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's why I just thought I'd mention it. But no, clearly we are led to believe that this is the house we were just approaching, which it probably is. And we're going up, and we're approaching. Ooh, what's going on in there? I don't know. But again, I like the look. It's not, what am I trying to say? It's just, subtle. It's not overly dramatic. It feels a bit warmer inside the home here, as it should. But I like this. I like the way that they've crafted the lighting. I do. Kudos. I have no issues with this. Now this is interesting. Okay. Now this is interesting. I'm just going to move myself over. Where am I here? Oh, I'm going to move myself over. Move myself over here. Now this is interesting, folks. And I don't know who has noted this, sorry about that, guys, who has noticed this, but this is interesting. So this clearly, I think, is Michael Myers, right? I mean, we can't see him fully, but he's got a little bit of a popped collar here. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's Michael Myers. Okay. When we move along, well, this is interesting because this is Michael's left hand. And as we know, Michael's pinky finger and ring finger on his left hand were blown off. They're not blown off here. And I implore you, I ask my fellow Halloween fans to watch the trailer on your own, on your big TV, on your tablet, on your desktop, or even on your phone, and pause it at this moment and take a look at that hand. It might be difficult to look at it here because you're watching it on, your phone, and you're watching it sort of through the program that I have here, and of course you're watching it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a degradation of the quality clearly, but go ahead and watch it because now you can't see his thumb, but his fingers are there. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's interesting. Is this not Michael Myers then? And we'll talk about something after the fact that I have not talked about yet, because I've been waiting to watch the trailer to talk about it, because I wanted to see if there was anything in the trailer that I might want to add as, you know, if there was anything in the trailer that was going to be of value to sort of accent talking about this. And sure enough, I think there is. Now, I mean, this could be a blooper. It could be, oh shit, whoops. I doubt it. But it's interesting because, call me crazy, but Michael's hand, his fingers have grown back. So this may not be him. And Jonathan Washington says, well, why wouldn't it be him? Well, get ready. Now, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying there is at least, possibly some circumstantial evidence out there that has a little bit of smoke to it that may, well, we'll talk about it. Let's continue on, shall we? Let's continue on. So here we go. We're going along. Yeah. There you go. There's a better shot there. Yeah. And clearly we can see it's Michael. Those fingers look grown back to me. And he's using his left hand. See, if he was using his right hand and pushing the door open, I'd be like, okay, well, whatever. But he's using his left hand. Astute Halloween fans. Have you noticed it? I don't know. Let's keep going. Oh, there she is. Now, this is kind of funky, too. It looks like she's wearing the blue-collared shirt that she wore in 1978. This is Laurie Strode cosplaying as Laurie Strode. She picked up the Trick or Treat Studios Laurie Strode outfit. That's what she did. She picked up the Trick or Treat Studios Laurie Strode outfit. Pretty cool. Now, again, maybe it just happens to look like that. I don't know if in the movie there's going to be a conscious sort of narrative sort of story beat around that. I mean, it's entirely possible that maybe she comes to the realization that, because let's not forget that in Halloween Kills, right, Laurie comes to she doesn't come to the realization. Hawkins helps her come to the realization that it was never about you. It was never about you, Laurie. He's not after you. It was never, ever about you. And I have always found that fascinating from a story and character point of view, because what does that do to her? Her entire life, her identity has been this. It's affected her family. It's affected her children, her relationships. This is her identity. She has believed it was always about her and that he was coming back for her. And he never was, according to Halloween Kills. He never was. What does that do to somebody's psyche? She's wasted the last 44 or 5 years of her life. What does that do? That's a fascinating sort of thing to dive into. I don't know if they're going to dive into it, but it's fascinating from a character perspective. So perhaps maybe this is, again, it's all in the execution, but perhaps this is maybe Laurie's way of trying to get Michael to recognize her. Like, look, do you remember me now? I got my, my hair is done a little more kind of like, I got the blue shirt on. I got the fucking tight blue jeans. Now do you remember me? I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just simply saying that, I guess it could be, maybe it just so happens to be a denim shirt that she's got on that just happens to look like it, right? It just happens to look like it. That's entirely possible too. And it was just David Gordon Green and company's way of sort of, a little homage to how she looked in the 78 original, but narratively it doesn't tie in. She's not dressing up as herself from way back then at all. That's possible too. But it is something that I noticed, and I'm sure it's also something that you noticed. So she's ready to shoot. Here we go. Oh, and then we cut to black, and then we're gonna have some, okay. So now we're in a different location, probably in the same house, I would imagine. And Michael is going to pick up Laurie and just toss her. Holy shit. I doubt very much that was Jamie Lee Curtis. She doesn't tend to Tom Cruise her movies, but can you imagine if that was her? Kudos to Curtis if that was Jamie Lee Curtis. That'd be amazing. But nonetheless, quite the... and Michael looks in this shot here, if it is Michael, and I have no reason to believe that it isn't. Okay, no. I take back what I was going to say. Nonetheless, very cool, right? He just tosses her right onto the counter this Halloween. Yes. She's screaming. There she is. We're getting the old... I'm assuming she's screaming Michael. I mean, that's usually what she tends to scream. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. I gotta go to the bathroom. No, I don't know. I think maybe it actually... Again, I've only watched the trailer a couple of times, and I jumped on here with you guys. Maybe we actually do get what she's saying, or maybe she's just screaming. I don't know. Anyways, we'll find out. I'm sure the next time I talk about this, I will know. Keep it going. Okay, don't know who this is, but we have another character here who I'm not quite, at least at first glance in this really short sort of snippet, not recognizing them. Cool. Okay. New character. Oh, who is that? Let's go back here. Okay. Don't know who that is. Not entirely sure, but okay. Got a headlight. Now we're in sort of a sewer. Ooh, we're in a sewer here. Who is this? This could be we're going to talk about it after we're done here, but this could be the boy in question. This could be the guy in question that has been on everybody's mind. Well, not everybody's mind, but has been out there, and I've been avoiding talking about it until I've seen the trailer. But I'll talk about it here in a second. That's you're dead. No, probably not. Okay, and then so we have somebody else who's new here. I don't know who that is on the telephone, but that's a cool shot. Again, love the split lighting a little bit on Michael's face. Not quite split lighting, but in that vein, you got the sort of the warm kind of lighting inside the house, the cool lighting from, I'm assuming he's coming from outside, or maybe he's coming from a closet next to a window, or behind a window, or behind the door next to a window maybe. Anyways, I like that look. I'm digging it. Again, very Halloween Kills, right? I believe the director of photography is... his last name is Simmons, I believe, and I believe he's been the DP on all 3 films. So, stylistically, there's an aesthetic that is carried over. It's fair, but I much prefer this look as opposed to what they did in 18. Their saga. Ooh. And of course, nice little nod back to the original. And then this is Halloween 2018, Halloween 1978, Halloween 18 kills, Halloween kills, ends, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then here's Laurie. I don't know where she is. Maybe this is her home now. I mean, maybe this is just simply her house. This is just simply her house. Do you know what I mean? This is her house. When I look at the blue shirt here, it doesn't quite look the same. Look at these fucking fans, eh? They're analyzing the blue shirt. You guys are so nerdy. Yeah, that's right. And you're watching. Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him? Just saying. Anyway, it's totally true though. But this could be her house. I mean, maybe this is her house. This could be her house. You never know. And then, of course, Allison. Again, I'm digging. Let me put myself back over here and drop me down because we don't need to fucking see me. Okay, there we go. Let me go back. I want to get more of this here. There's Hawkins. Again, love the look. Love the way that things are lit. It does feel colder. Yeah, feels good. And then we got, that's Hawkins. That's Hawkins. Laurie! Now, he doesn't look like he's in uniform. Or is he? I don't know. He's just going after probably Laurie. And then, what do we got here? So this is, sometimes it's fun to break these really quick teasers down because they carry so much in such a short period of time that you miss it on first sort of. Okay, I don't know who that is he's throwing against the wall. Obviously, we're going to, find out, but somebody else is probably going to get killed. And then who is this? Looks like that same kid getting smashed on the ground, maybe in the sewer. Cave dwellers, anyone? Cave dwellers? And then Allison screaming. Michael, that's a good shot. That looks very much like Halloween 2. That looks very much like Halloween 2, doesn't it? Doesn't that look like Dick Warlock in Halloween 2? I dig it. I dig it. Like I said, I mean, the mask they have created for these new films has been great. It's the best mask that we've had since Halloween 2, 1981, which was the same mask, of course, as 1978. So, I like it. I dig that. Nice sort of low angle shot, looking up, giving him some imposing stature. And Allison screaming. Lori looking badass. She's like, yeah, that's right, bitch. That's right. He's probably stabbing that woman, I would say. I don't know. And then Lori there. Looks like she's got maybe a vest on now. Or maybe it's just, it could just be the shadow. Anyway, but I dig the light. I dig the lighting. I like this. This looks very, very Halloween 1978. You know, it's good. I mean, listen, I have not been a big fan. I was not a fan really at all I wasn't, of Halloween Kills. I thought structurally, story-wise, just didn't work for me. Halloween 18, I liked better. I thought it was a better movie. I'm not a huge fan of 18, but I think it's a far better film than Kills. So I'm hoping that with this movie they go back to that. They go back to that sort of slow the pace down. Like I said in a tweet a couple days ago, the difference, I heard from a source that it's different. Christopher Nelson said it's different and weird. John Carpenter said it's a departure. So hopefully that just means that this is more of a character-driven plot as opposed to it's more character-driven as opposed to plot-driven. I guess I should say. Let me try again. It focuses more on characters rather than events, is what I'm trying to say, right? The plot focuses more on characters rather than events. And that just simply means that you slow things down and it's more about the relationships. It's more about their arcs. It's more about sort of the dynamic between them. And I would expect to see that. I would expect to see that kind of thing as we fast forward 4 years. But I like this look, like just this look as a still image, looks very Halloween 1978 to me. So I'm digging that a lot, actually. There is, or is that him? You know what? Do you guys think that's Michael? Does that look like James Jude Courtney to you? I don't know. I don't know, man. I know some of you in the chat room right now are probably thinking, well, why wouldn't it be Michael? What are you talking about, Dave? What are you talking about? Well, we'll talk about it. Talk about it. Ooh, grabbing her. Oh, yes, more. I like this. Putting her hand or about to put her hand into the ooh, see, that was definitely in the CinemaCon trailer. Maybe this is actually the CinemaCon trailer. Although, no, I think it's been spruced up. It's not exactly the CinemaCon trailer. Okay, so, all right, folks. All right. Okay. All right. Now, I will get to your super chats in just a second. You can ask me a question, of course. If you want your question to be guaranteed an answer, you send in a super chat because obviously I will answer those first for obvious reasons. So here's the thing. Here's why I really like it. I do. That doesn't mean the movie's going to be good. That doesn't mean we're going to like the movie. Doesn't mean that at all. But I will say, as a teaser trailer, this is very good. It's very good. It is a very good teaser trailer. I dug it. And if I'm saying that because I'm very, you guys know me, then I must be telling the truth because I wouldn't say that. I mean, if I didn't like it, I would, I'd be looking this thing up and down and going, why? But again, at the same time, you're not really getting much, right? It is your typical fast cuts, show some action, show some candy, right? No pun intended. Show some icing, show some cherries on top, that kind of stuff, and get people excited. And they've done a good job. It's the look, really. I mean, there really isn't anything I've seen. Lori getting tossed over the counter is cool. I mean, there's always cool things like that, but it's just the way it looks. Now, I don't know what the rest of the movie looks like. I have no idea. But the way the lighting is, the way that the gaffer and the DP and, the team crafted the lighting and crafted those shots in that house, I appreciate. Because that is the look that I would have tried to replicate myself. Now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't have done some things differently, but overall, I was like, oh, I like this. I like the look of this. Nice, 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 guys, nice. Is the movie good? I don't know. But the teaser trailer was a good teaser trailer. It was a very first, it's late here. It was a very good first look at Halloween Ends. And I have a feeling that most people and most of my fellow Halloween YouTubers in the Halloween community will agree with me. I think they will agree and say, yeah, this is a good first look. I like this. This looks interesting. Now, let's talk about that other thing that I have not yet talked about that has been out there on the Reddit forums. I'm not on Reddit. This is just what people tell me. And people have shared tweets to me and DM'd me. So I'm going to put up the potential spoiler sign in case you don't want to know this. Now, there has been no concrete confirmation, okay? And what I mean by concrete confirmation is something that is coming from David Gordon Green, something that is coming from John Carpenter, something that's coming from the studio, something that's coming from the actor himself, something that's coming from... That's what I'm talking about. That doesn't mean that this individual who leaked this is incorrect. Doesn't mean that at all. I don't know them. I don't follow them. I have no idea who they are. They could be reputable. I don't know. Okay? But what this individual has said is that there is, I forget the actor's name now, but there is a, close that down. There was a video that was playing on my other screen. There's an actor that's in Halloween Ends. And the rumor is that supposedly this actor is a large part of this movie. Large part. Takes center stage. And they are playing a guy by the name of Corey. And this Corey fellow is obsessed with Michael Myers. And this Corey fellow is sort of going down, again, this is just what I'm gathering, possibly going down the wrong path. Now, for months, over a year now, we've been trying to connect the dots of what this Christine angle might be. Now, that actually has been confirmed. That's not hearsay. David Gordon Green has said, he took the script to Carpenter and said to him, do you think this is a little too Christine? Well, what does that even mean, right? Too Christine? I mean, what does that mean? Where does that leave us, right? At face value, right? At face value, we're all there kind of going, well, where does that leave us, right? And and I didn't know. I mean, I was speculating, you were speculating, we all were. Well, if there is somebody in Halloween Ends that takes center stage, who is obsessed with evil, with Michael Myers, and maybe even becomes a little, dare I say it, possessed, not necessarily literally, okay, but more of metaphorically because of his obsession, perhaps. And so when you look at it from a certain point of view, Michael is the car and this Corey fellow is, do you know what I mean? And there's this, that's entirely possible. Maybe he became so obsessed that he dressed up as Michael Myers. We don't really get a good look. Now, the shot where he's putting his hand on the door and opening the door, we know that's Michael, but we don't really get a good look at the mask. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's going to blow it up. But it is interesting, and I think we all can agree that it is interesting, at the very least, that he's opening that door and he's got all his fingers. It's his left hand. Now, you could say, as somebody pointed out in the chat, well, maybe it's a dream. Okay, well, whose dream is it? I guess it's Lori's. I doubt it's Michael's. Maybe it's Michael's. That would be weird. Maybe it's this Corey guy, if in fact this is true. Maybe it's Lori's dream. Maybe it's a shared dream. We're all having it. True. Possibly. I would find it strange that they would, although maybe not. I mean, maybe that is what we're seeing. Perhaps. I don't get that feeling. I don't get that sense because of how much more we see. But maybe, like I said, it's not 100%. We will not know until another trailer comes out or, whatever the case is. I do know there was a photo. I don't know. I have seen it. It was a little while ago. There was a photo that I believe is from the set of Halloween Ends, where there is this actor in question, right? This actor playing supposedly this character by the name of Corey, on set with Jamie Lee Curtis and Andy Matichak. There they are, together, smiling at the camera. Now, as of right now, at least unless something's changed, he's not listed on IMDb. Now, he might be listed on IMDb now because the trailer just dropped and it looks like he's in it. Now, I don't know for sure, but I suspect that he's the guy that gets sort of, attacked by the throat in the sewer and maybe to the ground. Maybe that's him. Maybe he went cave dwelling for Michael. I don't know. So all I'm saying is that clearly this movie is a departure. Sorry guys, I got so many freaking tabs open here. There we go. Yeah. Okay, that's better. I don't know. Let me just I'll take this off now because I've talked about it, so I'll take that off. But I just wanted to warn you because, in case you didn't want to know that, but we have over 1,100 people here watching, which is fantastic, which is great. I appreciate you all watching. Thank you. I sincerely do. That's amazing. The last time I had this many people all here at once for this big party was, when the Halloween Kills trailer dropped and I went live. So again, it's a great teaser. It doesn't give us anything about the narrative. They're still playing their cards close to the vest. It doesn't give us anything about story. This just looks like a regular sort of, Halloween film, right? That could go in any sort of direction. But like I said, I believe that when you hear different, weird departure, this is likely going to be more of a character-driven film rather than a plot-driven film. Plot-driven focuses more on events. Character-driven focuses more on characters and their arcs and, what they're dealing with and maybe a transformation, all that kind of stuff, right? So I think it's important to that would be different. That would be different because most of the Halloween films are plot-driven. Right? The characters are just reacting to the events. Oh, my door just opened. And it's not Michael Myers, folks. It's not Michael Myers. I know what you're thinking. No, it's Veda. Hello, Veda. Come on in, Veda. It's my cat, my black cat. I said that and she realized I was live and she's like, I'm fucking out of here. Come on in, say hello to everybody. All right, forget that. I'll have to deal with her afterwards. She's not happy. Anyway, so, but that's what that means. So I would imagine that this is what it's going to be. I have speculated that maybe it's more of a horror drama or there's a lot of drama to the film. I don't mean unnecessary drama, like it's, oh my God, this is so, I just mean it's more character driven, and that would be different. Now, the weird part, see, that would be the different part because like I said, most of the Halloween films are plot driven. I'm not saying they're great plots. I'm just saying they are the driving force behind them are the events. So changing it to a real character-driven movie, like even more so than 18 ever was. That's different. The weird part, and Christopher Nelson is the only one that I've heard say weird. My contact did not say weird. I mean, they might think it's weird, but they didn't tell me that. The weird could be this fellow that, you know, the whole film may focus on him. Or maybe there's a large chunk that focuses on him. I don't know. But I wanted to leave it until today, until the trailer dropped, because I wanted to sort of, wait and see if I could see this guy in the trailer. Because if I don't see him in the teaser and he's not on IMDb, then let's just wait. Let's just wait a little bit, longer. But it looks like he's in the trailer. I'm pretty sure the actor with the curly hair is him. So, yeah. Just saying. Anyways, let's jump over to the chat room and see what you guys are saying. Now, I'm going to have to scroll back and get your super chat. So 1 second here. Let me scroll back here. And I got to go to the YouTube studio because YouTube doesn't let me scroll back. It only lets me scroll back to a degree. Monetization, super chats, there we are. Okay, so let me scroll back here and go, oh, we got quite a few actually. Wow, you guys are awesome. Booster Seat sent in $2 and says, this teaser was just like the Kills teaser. Sweet. I actually think I like this better than the Kills teaser. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this better than the Kills teaser? Now, again, that doesn't mean we're going to like the movie better. But I think this teaser is solid. I think it's solid. I think it's really well done. I dig it. Now, again, I've only watched it like twice before I jumped on here to talk about it. I'm going to be watching it again probably 3 or 4 more times before I go to bed. I might even have a video that I do tomorrow where I give some more thoughts, like an addendum to this live stream. So look out for that possibly. But yeah, I mean, I dig it. Dennis Algic sends in $1.99, says, Dave, do you think Laurie and Michael die together? I don't know, but I hope so. I hope so. That's ultimately what I would like, but I don't know. Mike MC or Mike Mix sends in $5, says, Laurie looks like she is in the Myers house, a throwback to Michael killing Judith. It looks similar. We are led to believe that the house where this is taking place is the house we are approaching with the POV. But like I've said, that's not necessarily true, right? It could have just been how the trailer was cut. Okay, so keep that in mind. But I don't think it's the Myers house. It could be, I guess. But again, I've only watched it twice. I got to watch it again. Diddly D. Riley sends in $2, says, this is the exact teaser I had in mind. Quick cuts. There you go. You got it. Chris Parrish sends in $4.99, says, do you think that fight in the trailer happens fairly in the movie? I think you mean fairly early in the movie. I'm assuming the shot with her and the gun is later in the movie. I suspect not, because if you look closely, Chris, it looks like she's wearing the same shirt when Michael tosses her over the counter. That was one of the things that I had said when the CinemaCon trailer dropped. I had said, and when we found out that there was a fight between Laurie and Michael in the kitchen, one of the things that I wanted to know was, well, what is Laurie wearing? Is she wearing what she wore at the end of Halloween Kills? Because if she is, then that fight is probably happening in the kitchen of the Myers house, and Laurie has just left the hospital to go fuck some shit up. But if you look closely, it looks like she's wearing that blue shirt. So I think this happens probably around the same time, I would imagine. Dave Kincaid sends in $9.99, says, solid trailer. I'm happy it didn't show too much. Great lighting. I'm honestly looking forward to your layer by layer analysis as much as I'm looking forward to the film. Well, thank you. Thanks for the great content. Well, thank you, Dave. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat, man. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I like that kind of stuff. I like to dive deep into, I'm not an expert on psychology or, sociology or even cinematic language. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm an expert on it, but I certainly appreciate it. And, I think that when you add those nuances and those layers, it just makes your film better. And even if you don't pick up on it consciously, sometimes you will pick up on it subconsciously. And it just gives you sort of a feeling. John, let me see here. I don't have my glasses. John DeBalis? Is that how you say it? I don't have my, sorry, dude, I don't have my glasses on. John, I'll call you John. $5 says, if I'm in charge of the franchise, I take a 5-year break from releasing feature films after it ends and make an open world video game. Thoughts? I am right there with you, John. I am right there with you. There is a video on my channel from like 3 or 4 years ago where I am talking about an open world Grand Theft Auto style. It would be way too expensive. It'd be way too expensive, but a man can dream, right? A Halloween fan can dream, where there's like this open world kind of like Halloween game where you have to like unlock different versions of the shape, like the H2O shape or the Halloween 5 shape or the Halloween 78 shape or whatever the case is. You can play as Loomis, you can play as Lori, you can drive around in the station wagon, you can drive to all over the place, all over fucking the state of Illinois. Yes! Yes! It's not going to happen, but I'm right there with you, man. Adam Allen sends in £2 and says, hey, Dave, hope you are well. Love your content. Well, thank you, Adam. I really appreciate you saying that. Howard D sends in $2 and says they both looked dressed as their 78 selves here. Yeah, a little bit. Brandon Gregory sends in $1.99, says pumpkin behind is the same she carved in H78. Ooh, I have to look a little more carefully. You may be right, Brandon. Good eye. Fast forwards to which means maybe this is sort of some kind of dream, perhaps, or some kind, maybe, I don't know. You never know. Fast forwards, 289 sends in $9.99. Thank you, buddy. Says, looks interesting. The red house at the beginning looks kind of similar to the house from Halloween 4 in a way. Michael looks great, but Michael's poor left hand keeps catching hell. Indeed, but his left hand, Michael's left hand, looked okay on that door. I don't know, man. Maybe it is a dream. I don't know. Maybe Universal and Blumhouse right now are going, fuck, they caught that. Damn it. Matthew Ferreira sends in $4.99, says, would you prefer Michael die or defeated or live? I'd prefer that he died. Again, it's not that characters die, it's how they die. I think if the film ends on a very philosophical note, right? One that really makes you question, the nature of evil. It's late. I can hardly talk tonight. The nature of evil, and Michael and the shape and all that kind of stuff. Then I think that's great. The last thing I want is some sort of cliffhanger where Michael just kind of walks off into the ether. It depends on how they do it. Or his eyes suddenly open. Don't do that shit. End it. And according to John Carpenter, it does end. Does that mean Michael dies? I don't know. But apparently, according to Carpenter, there is a definitive end. This is not like, oh, I guess no. This is it. So it will be interesting to see. Let me see here. Anthony Landry sends in $5, says 5 fingers on the door, 3 when she stabs the hand at the end. Creative editing, definitely creative for sure. But what does that mean? Is that Michael Myers? Is it this other guy supposedly doing his best Michael cosplay? I don't know, man. But it sure is interesting. I'm right there with you. Matthew Farisi sends in $4.99, says, I find it hilarious that this leaked the day before. Are we that impatient? Looks good, but we know it's going to be weird. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. It was supposed to release tomorrow, but obviously Universal did not have it encrypted. There wasn't a code on it, which is what sometimes studios will do. I don't know how often Universal does it. They may only do it for certain movies. But because the trailer leaked last year, a week early, I would have thought that they would have, set the encryption, because you can set it where you don't have access to the key until the day it's supposed to be released. And there's no need for the theater, there was no need for the theaters to have access to the trailer early, because it's not playing until Thursday in front of Nope. So Universal could have sent an encryption locked trailer that didn't unlock, right? They weren't provided the key until tomorrow. The trailer goes up online and then all the theaters get to see it as well because they get to unlock it. I don't understand why they didn't do it. Again, for us, it's a big deal because it's Halloween. But for Universal, maybe it's not. It's like, fuck, it's Halloween. It's not Jurassic World. It's not going to make it $1 billion. Whatever. But it leaked last year. Yeah, I know, whatever. I don't know. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating because, sometimes people make plans around this, right? And you want to kind of, you know what I mean? And then it suddenly leaks and you're like, ah. It's unfortunate. And to the people that are leaking it, dude, why? Well, like, I get it. I can intellectualize it. I understand why you do it. You get your little bit of, social media fame and, oh, look, I'm the leaker. I did that. But it's like, dude, come on, man. Like, why? Why? It's a power thing, right? Like, they're in a position of power where they have something and they've seen something that nobody else has. And they know that there's a lot of people that are waiting for it. And to release it, it gets those, it gets that, it's just one of those things that I've always found frustrating, especially when it's like 12 hours out or 18 hours out. Like, come on, man. Come on. It's frustrating. All right, let me see. The last one I got there was that one. Nick Jenny sends in $1.99, says off work and Dave's on. Love you, Dave. Thank you, Nick. Fast Forwards 289 sends in $4.99, says I wonder where Nick Castle will be in this film, and I hope they don't delete his scene out of the movie like they did in Halloween Kills. Well, as far as I know, excuse me. Nick Castle has a cameo in this movie, but he's unmasked. He's basically himself. I mean, I'm not saying he's playing Nick Castle, but you're going to see his face. So I don't believe he's playing the Shape in this movie. I could be wrong. Maybe he did both. I think there is actually. Is there a set photo of him in the jumpsuit? I can't remember now. There might be, but I do know that he said that he is also playing, like, he's just like a person out on the. I don't know what he's. I don't know if he's like just a guy on the street or if he's a neighbor that comes out and says, "I've been trick or treated to death tonight." I have no idea. I don't know, but you definitely are, unless they cut it. We'll be seeing Nick Castle as himself, and I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool. All right, let me go back here, see if I can get back into. There we go. Matthew, that was the last one, right? No, hang on. Here we go. Cody the Zombie sends in $4.99, says Michael can take out a whole town mob but struggles with one old lady. Come on. Well, sometimes you just got to suspend your disbelief. But I get it. Matthew Farisi sends in $19.99. Thank you, Matthew, for the generous super chat, and says this is a way for a copycat angle to work, but it has to be handled with extreme care. It could cause confusion and panic that works to the Shape's advantage, or it could flop. We'll see. If that's even what we get, who knows? Exactly. And of course, you were talking about what we were talking about earlier in that rumor that is out there where there's this whole other sort of angle. Again, it's not necessarily what I would have done. If I was in the writer's room, I don't think I would have taken the story that way. I definitely would have probably had the film more of a character-driven movie, for sure. Because we're fast-forwarding 4 years. I want to know, where is Allison now? How is she coping with the death of her mother and the death of her father on the same night at the hands of the same person, right? And then, of course, you have Laurie. How is she dealing with the death of her daughter at the hands of Michael Myers and all this? Like, there's a lot of juicy stuff to unpack there between Hawkins and Laurie and Allison and all that kind of jazz. And where Lindsay fits into that. So I definitely probably would have had it more of a character-driven film, but I don't know if it is true. If it is true, I don't know if I would have gone that route with it. But we could watch the movie in October and be like, wow, you know what? That was actually pretty good. But that was actually really good. I think actually I like that one the best out of the three. I mean, that's entirely possible, right? So it's all in the execution. But I agree with you. When you hear that, it does make you go, okay, that's different. Right? Just saying. Let me see. Bo sends in $4.99. Have you noticed when Michael grabs Corey in the teaser? Oh, so he's just going all out. Have you noticed when he grabs Corey? He's locked in. Bo is just fucking locked in. He's locked in. Michael's arm is coming straight out of the wall, like he is supernatural or a ghost-like. I'd have to go back and watch it again. It's likely, if his hand is like actually coming out of the wall like a ghost, that would be weird. That would be weird. I would suspect that there's probably a crevice somewhere, or there's some sort of like alcove or crack we don't see, and it just looks like that. But I'll have to watch the teaser again, because like I said, as of doing this live show, I've only watched it twice. But that would be my guess. That would be my guess. Let me see. Cody the Zombie sends in another $4.99 and says, I don't want a copycat unless he's the one that dies and everybody thinks it's Michael, but at the end, Michael lives. Yeah, maybe that's what they'll do. I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll do. Although there is quite the difference between somebody who's like 23 or 24 and somebody who's 64 or 65. And, you know, if it's true about this individual, Corey, I don't take it that he's also 6'3". I don't think he would be mistaken. But we shall see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Ellis sends in $4.99. Thank you, Jack, and says, do you think Kills might have been over-hated? I thought it was all right, but not worth the hate. Well, it's subjective, okay? If you like it, that's great. That's awesome. I don't like Kills. The things I like in Kills are, I like James Jude Courtney. I like The Mask. I think the cinematography is better. It's more in line from a from a tone, the way they crafted some of the lighting. Not through the whole movie, but I liked it better. You know, the fighter scene was cool, right? But from a structure perspective and pacing and dialogue and that middle part with the hospital and the stuff, and it was just the pacing, the structure, the story, it just was off for me. It just wasn't working for me, man. It wasn't working. It felt weird. Some things felt shoehorned in, didn't feel organic. So, you know, is it overhated? Well, I guess that depends on who you talk to. You know, I'm not on the interwebs professing my hate for Halloween Kills every day. So if there are people that are doing that, yeah, like, you know, shut up. We get it. You know what I mean? You can say you don't like a movie and you can move on with your life. But I do think there are valid criticisms to that movie from a story, structure, pacing, and dialogue perspective. I do. And that is more objective than subjective. Like when we're talking about pacing and structure, that's not really subjective. So, but if you like the movie, if it worked for you, that's subjective. And I can't change that. If that worked for you and you're like, well, I thought it was all right. Well, that's your experience with it. So I can't change that. Anthony Stanfield sends in $2, but retracted the message. I wonder what you were going to say there, Anthony. But no worries. Reese Wilson sends in $30.99 Australian shekels. Thank you very much, Reese. Of course, it's probably like 1 p.m. where you are right now. Plot twist. The whole trilogy is just a big skit done by Dangertainment. Last shot is a... Oh, man. Trick or treat, motherfucker. Can you imagine? Last shot is a handheld camera shot of Freddie Harris telling the audience, trick or treat, motherfucker. I didn't even read your whole thing. Can you imagine? Just to fuck with people? They should release, somebody should, okay, you know what? I might do that. I might do something. I'm not going to say, you've inspired me with a possible idea, Reese. You inspired me with a possible idea. David Lee Barron sends in $4.99, says, why don't they use the original breathing sound from Halloween 1, 1978 and carry it over for these films? They use it in H2, 1981, would have been a great touch. It could be the quality. It could just be a matter of, the audio quality, maybe not being quite what they need it to be for the mix in this film. Or it could be that they just didn't think of it, or the audio is so degraded that they also don't have the breathing. It could be that, or it could be that they don't have the audio separate from the rest of the track, because obviously when you design audio, you are designing it in layers and then you mix it all together. I don't know if they would be able to separate the breathing from the music or from the sound effects or from everything else that's underneath it. So why not just re-record it? It takes 5 seconds. And it sounds it sounds like I believe it. So that's probably why. It's probably one of those things. Anthony Stanfield again sends in $2 but retracts the message. Well, Anthony, hopefully you'll come around to figuring out what you want to say. Jose Reyes sends in $1.99, says, what do you think of the poster? Ooh, I haven't seen the poster yet. I have not seen the poster yet, so maybe that'll be a video that I do tomorrow. That'll give me another excuse to go online. Maybe that's what I'll do. Dark Fiend X, I think that's how I don't have my glasses, my apologies. I think that's it. $5 says, hopefully Ends releases an IMAX this time. Kills was supposed to also, but it got pulled out. Yeah, it might. I haven't heard anything about an IMAX release. The film, I don't know if it was shot for that, so it would be an IMAX transfer, obviously, which they can do. That costs a lot of money. I don't know if they would want to put that into the budget. I don't think it's necessary, really, at the end of the day. But that would be cool. I wouldn't turn it away. Oliver Mercer sends in £2 and says, do you think this Corey guy may have had killed Karen, given the quickness take by Michael getting there so fast, plus perhaps Michael may actually have died in kills? No, Michael has not died. The rumors that Michael is dead early in the movie or that he died in kills, no, put that out of your mind, no. Do I think it was this fellow that did that? No, I do not. Not at all. No, I think this is a new character that is being introduced. If it is true, it is a new character that is being introduced into Halloween Ends. I think Michael Myers absolutely destroyed and killed Karen. David Lee Barron, $4.99. Why don't they have Michael grunting during his kills like he did in the original Halloween 1978? It's a nuanced character trait of OG Michael. It is, but he wasn't grunting all the time. I mean, you heard Michael grunt a couple of times during the closet scene. But, when he's killing Bob, I don't recall him grunting. When he's killing Annie, is he grunting? I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch and listen. I do know there's grunts in the closet scene, but it's not like he's going like every, 2 seconds. It's subtle. It's there. It's a couple of beats. So, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's not there, but you're right. It is sort of maybe a nice sort of accent that they might be able to put in there, and maybe they did. Zach Hall sends in $4.99, says, so Michael is growing fingers back. Okay, it's goofy. It makes zero sense. There's already red flags here. I hope I'm wrong. Well, again, Zach, this is a teaser trailer. We have no idea what this story is. We have no idea. Again, I know there's leaks out there supposedly telling us what this is all about, but until we actually see the movie, or until we get confirmation from the studio, or, from David Gordon, yes, this is what it is, we don't know for sure. There's a probability factor based on maybe who's doing the reporting, but we don't know for sure. So who knows who this is? It could be Michael. It may not be Michael. It may be this fellow dressed, if he's obsessed with Michael, like how Arnie, I think it is, right? From Christine, I think it's Arnie. He gets into the car. Does this fellow get into the costume? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But let's wait. Let's wait and see. So maybe that's him. Maybe it's a dream. I don't know, but I did notice it. Jordan XX24 sends in $1.99 and says there's a clip when Michael stabs, he has a ring. A ring? Really? He has a ring on? Well, if you are, I didn't notice that. I will have to go back and watch it. If you are correct, then that could very well be the big giveaway right there. Anthony Stanfield sends in $2. Anthony, here comes the question. Do you think they show how Michael has been living? I don't know. Maybe. I hope there's at least, I don't think we need to dive into like a full sort of act about it. I don't think we need to take like 15, 20 minutes on it, but I think you could I think at the very least, we should be able to get an idea of where he's been. We don't need to see it. We don't need to see his process. We don't need to see him eating, shitting, and peeing and being a Walmart greeter. We don't need to see any of that. But certainly, I think we can, through the process of police investigations or the conversation or, between characters through exposition or whatever the case is, I think we can at least get an idea of maybe where he's been. So I hope so, something that doesn't give away too much, but also doesn't completely ignore it. We'll see. Chris sends in $5 and says, first time super chat. Chris, you've made it. You're here. You're here. You are here. First time super chat from Chris sends in $5 and says, love listening to you dissect this. So was Michael missing any fingers when Laurie stabbed his left hand? Again, I've only watched the trailer twice as of doing this live stream tonight. So I am not sure. I'm going to be watching the teaser again after this stream is done and before I go to bed. And then, of course, I might have one, maybe two videos tomorrow. We shall see. We shall see. So I'm not sure, but I'll let you know when I figure it out. Let me see here. Got that. Well, wait. Lots of super chats coming in. You guys are awesome. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any here. So we got Jonathan V sends in $1.99, says Corey Cochran, son of Colonel Cochran. I'm going to say no. I think that just might have been a happy accident or just a little nod to Halloween 3. I hope not. I hope not, because it would make no sense. Because again, folks, as I've often said, Halloween is fictional in Halloween, and Michael Myers is fictional in Halloween 3, right? Atkins is watching a TV ad of Halloween on the TV in the bar. And then, of course, towards the end of the movie, he's tied up in a chair and Halloween is on the TV. So it would make no sense if you were trying to connect the original Halloween 3 from 1982 into this timeline, because this timeline is connected to the movie that is fictional in Halloween 3. So I don't think there's going to be any Season of the Witch connection. Like the mask is a silver shamrock mask. Like, where does that leave us? And so what does that mean? I mean, how is that? So what? That doesn't, what's going on? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that these movies are connected to the original, and that original movie was fiction in Halloween 3. So where does that leave us? Do you know what I mean? So I think if it is intentional, it's just a nod to that name. I hope so, anyway. Let me see. Got that one. And then we have Jay Leo sends in $2 and says, perhaps the kid and Laurie are cosplaying together. Maybe Laurie is cosplaying. Maybe. Actually, funny you should say that, Jay Leo. I don't know if you were just being silly, but you might be onto something. You might be onto something. It's entirely possible. And that, I'm going to write your name down here because I might bring this up. And if I do bring it up, I want to make sure that you get credit for it. At least you get, I don't know if you're the only one that has thought this. I jokingly was talking earlier to Frank and Darren of the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast about, is Laurie cosplaying as herself? Because it kind of looks like that, right? But you bring up an interesting thing here, Jay Leo. Okay, I just want to make sure that I get that, because I can't guarantee that I am going to bring it up. But if I do, I want to make sure that I give you a shout out, because you might be onto something. If this is about this fellow Corey, and he is, maybe it's like a thing that they're going, that's weird. It's weird, right? It's weird that she's got to dress up to kind of, I thought maybe she was dressing up to kind of get Michael to remember who she is. But maybe you're onto something there, man. I don't know. It's entirely possible. Yeah, let me think about, maybe it's like, how you deal with somebody who's mentally ill or who's, you got to kind of, he's not all there. I don't, weird, right? Weird. Now, again, I can't guarantee that I will bring it up, but I just wanted to write your name down in case I do. Matthew Ferreira sends in $1.99, says, I think Halloween fan film did a copycat plot. There's a Halloween fan film that did a copycat plot. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I I believe Halloween H2O was going to do that and then didn't. Joey Monda sends in $6.99 Canadian, fellow Canadian. Joey, amazing. Whereabouts are you in Canada? You don't have to give me your address. I just mean the general idea. or the general area, I mean. Sorry I'm late, but did you see that the plot is written under the YouTube trailer? I did not see that. No, again, because I've been so sort of, giving my first impression thoughts of the actual trailer itself. So I will go and look at that, and then I will have more to say tomorrow. Daniel Palma sends in $4.99, says, if Corey theory true, do you think social commentary in Halloween has become too on the nose? Influenced white teen this time. Not sure I want my Halloween to be that. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, man. I mean, obviously with social commentary in horror films, like I've often said, is nothing new. If it's done right, if it doesn't feel shoehorned in, it can be very effective. The problem is, and I have no evidence to this, but I cannot help but feel that because Jamie Lee Curtis is an executive producer and she's very hell-bent on about the trauma and the generational trauma, and she herself is a social activist, I cannot help but feel that she is pining and championing this kind of stuff for this movie. It helps her get excited about it, and it does add layers to it, but is it necessary? It's a fucking Halloween slasher movie. How deep do we want to go? How avant-garde do we want to be? At the end of the day. And so I'm in agreement with you but at the same time, social commentary in horror films is nothing new. So it all depends on the execution. The problem with the social commentary in Halloween Kills, in my estimation, is that it wasn't subtle. It was too on the nose, and it felt too preachy. Not Black Christmas 2019 preachy and beating you over the head. Not like that. That was ridiculous. But, a few notches down from that where you kind of roll your eyes and go, guys, can we get back to the Halloween movie, please? This isn't like, I get it. I understand what you're trying to do, but this isn't, it's a Halloween movie. Come on. Let's not try to make this more than what it really is. So I'm in agreement with you there. I don't know, but we shall see. Cody the Zombie sends in $1.99, says, people think Don Vito is Michael in Kills. Enough said. That's true. Howard D sends in $5, says, I'm afraid Corey is going to be an attempt at some sort of representation of us, the Halloween fan, a meta over-exaggeration of a fanboy today. Yeah, maybe. You might be right. That could be true. Okay, we'll go another 10 minutes, folks. We'll go another 10 minutes. We'll take this thing to just after midnight here, my time, and then we'll wrap it up. And then I got to go and look at the poster. I got to go and look at the synopsis, and then I'll probably have some more videos for you as well. I might even record them tonight while I'm up and then just fucking post them. Just fucking get this shit out. I might even do that. We'll see. Let me see. John. No glasses. Johnny Diamond sends in $10, says, the boy's name is Corey Cunningham, Dave, according to the synopsis on Bloody Disgusting. Okay. All right. So it's been made official now. That there is a Corey Cunningham. Okay. So this is good. Again, I just watched the teaser and jumped on immediately. So I like that you guys are giving me this information. Corey Cunningham, not Corey Cochran. So this is, real live in the moment stuff. I'm not looking at it. I just looked at the trailer, watched the trailer, and jumped on live to give you my thoughts on the teaser. So now I will be doing videos on all of the rest of the stuff and probably repeating some of the things I've said here today, but nonetheless, this is it's what do they say in news? It's unfolding. Things are unfolding as we go along. Adam Miles sends in $10, says, how would Corey get Michael's suit? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets his own suit. David Lee Barron sends in $4.99. Where are you, David? $4.99 says, what does Michael keep looking at outside his window? Didn't the officer during the flashback actually see what Michael sees out the window? I don't know. I don't know. No, I think he was just sort of in some sort of reflected state there. Let me see here. Autocyclic. What is that? Epic, I guess is how you say it. Autocycle PC. Autocycle PC, perhaps. $1.99 says the eyes in the mask look like someone else. Ooh. Jack Ellis sends in $4.99, says, do you think we'll get a flashback to directly after Karen was killed and how he got away? A la Halloween 2. I mean, he was surrounded by cops. Do I think we'll get a flashback directly after Halloween? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't even think they're going to be. I don't even think they're going to acknowledge that. I think it's just going to be what it is. I think it's just going to be what it is. You know, he got away, and we don't know how he got away, and we don't know how he got in. It's just going to be that. David Lee Barron sends in $1.99, says significance between radio antenna and Michael. Probably less so than what we might think. Maybe that's just, where people are, getting their news. Maybe there's it's Halloween night. They're listening to the radio, getting all their news. Perhaps, maybe that's it. I don't know. Still don't know yet, but we'll soon find out. David Lee Barron follows up with another $1.99, says, here's some money. Love it. Fast Forwards 289 sends in $9.99, says, what if they're making a movie about Michael and the events that took place and Laurie plays herself in it and that Corey is playing Michael? Just a thought, but I really hope that doesn't happen. I don't think so. Although, I don't know. It would have to be because this Corey guy is just so far gone that you have to. It's like what they did with Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Shutter Island, right? They're playing sort of this role-playing game. Listen, as Jay Leo said, maybe that is true. Maybe that is what's and that would be weird. That would be weird. But then how far gone is Corey, right? How far gone is Corey? I don't know. We shall see. Let me see here. Okay, that one. We're almost getting to the end here. Matthew Ferreira sends in $1.99, says, nah, Michael's probably Tom Tucker. Tom Tucker from Family Guy. I agree. Chris sends in another $5, says, Dave went back and looked at the trailer again. Michael's left hand was missing 2 fingers in kitchen battle. That's got to be Michael. I would say that's probably Michael. Yes, in that battle, I would say that's Michael. But again, when you're cutting a trailer, you're taking snippets from stuff from all different kinds of spots, right? So, we don't really know. But he had those fingers when he was pushing that door open. And Laurie is dressed in, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I got to fucking get off here and do these videos that will probably end up on my channel at like 3:00 in the morning, but I want to get them up there. I want to get this out. Baby. The content is on fire. It's on fire. The Critical Joker sends in $4.99, says, John was right. So far, this is definitely a departure from other Halloween films. It appears to look that way, folks. It appears to look that way. Okay, listen, that's going to do it for me, folks. I'm going to jump off here now. I said I know I would go another 10 minutes, but it's midnight now. I think that's a good spot to sort of call it a night. I believe I got all the super chats. I don't think I missed any of them. I want to thank you to each and every one of you who has tuned in to watching this stream. We talk Halloween here, folks, and this is going to be Halloween from now until, well, I mean, obviously I'll be talking about some other stuff. Oh, David Lee Barron going hard into the paint at the very last minute at the buzzer says, can't believe we are 11 Michael movies into the franchise coming from the classic movie that never was supposed to have any sequels at all. It's totally true, David. It's totally true. And thank you for that buzzer beater there. Obviously, we talk about other things here on the channel, but we talk Halloween a lot. And we do some deep dives into the Halloween series here. Not so much Halloween 5 or Resurrection or Rob Zombie, but the better movies. So stick around, folks, because the journey we began in 2018, well, actually 2017, here on this channel is winding down. I don't mean I'm winding down the channel. I just mean this journey is winding down. The journey, I can see it. The end is in sight. October. It's really late. And when you're rocking at this level of energy for like 90 minutes, you're bound to go a couple of times. The journey is coming to an end. I can see it. The journey, there it is coming to an end. October 2022. It is in our sights, folks. It is in our sights. It's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. Hey, if you want to follow me on social media, you can. There are my links right there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All my links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. Thank you to my great moderators, of course, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, and Chris Baber for doing what you guys do. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the super chat questions that came in. My apologies to the non-super chat questions. Unfortunately, I have to answer these super chats for obvious reasons. They take priority, and I am very detailed and maybe sometimes a little verbose. But hey, you know what? I like to give you your money's worth. So there you go. Mike Mack, the game's over, but we'll count it anyway. He says, ever consider adding the audio as a podcast? I've considered it, but it's nothing that I am planning on doing anytime soon. But maybe in the future, you never know. Maybe in the future, you never know. Folks, again, I appreciate you tuning in. You're amazing. I'm going to jump off here right now. And you know what? I'm going to go look at that poster. I'm going to go read that synopsis. I'm going to go and watch that teaser again. And I'm probably going to be up till 3 o'clock in the morning doing at least one video talking about this shit. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me on my first impression thoughts on the teaser for Halloween Ends. So in the meantime and in between time, I will probably talk to you tomorrow. Not live, but tomorrow. All righty. Cheers. Oh, wrong one.